Okay, do something for me real quick. I need your hands for this. Put one hand flat on a table, palm up. Now touch the tip of your thumb to the tip of your pinky and lift your wrist up off the table just a little. Look at your wrist. For most of you, a thin cord just popped up down the middle, like a little guitar string under the skin. For some of you, nothing. Smooth wrist. That cord is a muscle you inherited from ancestors who climbed trees. You don't need it. And some of you don't even have it because evolution is quietly phasing it out. And your body is full of this stuff. You are not some fresh design built from scratch. You're a hand-me-down, a body stuffed with leftover parts from fish, from apes, from ancient humans that evolution installed a long time ago and just never bothered to take back out. Today we're going through those parts, and almost every single one you can find on yourself without getting up. I'm saving the strangest one for the end, by the way. It's the one part of your body that no other animal on Earth has, and science genuinely cannot tell you why you have it. But we'll get there. So back to that cord. It's got a name, palmaris longus. In animals that really use their forelimbs, it pulls its weight. In you, it does basically nothing. They've actually tested this. People without it grip and squeeze exactly as hard as people with it. No difference at all. How many people are born without it? Okay, this part is kind of funny. The classic number, the one people have been repeating since 1944, is around 15%. But the second you start digging, it falls apart. It depends entirely on where your ancestors are from. In some populations, fewer than 2% of people are missing it. In others, more than half. So the minority here is a very stretchy idea, and I genuinely can't tell you which side you'll land on. And here's what surgeons do with it. Since it isn't holding anything up, they just take it. They cut it out and use it as a spare part. Graft it in to replace torn tendons somewhere else in your body. So medically, this thing is treated like a part in your glove box, just sitting there in case you need it. An ancient climbing muscle, demoted to spare parts. Moving on. This next one you've definitely noticed on yourself. Goosebumps. You ever seen a cat puff up to twice its size when a dog shows up? The fur stands straight up, and a normal cat becomes an angry round ball. That's not random. At the base of every hair, there's a tiny muscle that yanks it upright. For a furry animal, that either traps a layer of warm air or it makes them look bigger and scarier. You have those exact muscles, every one of them, and they fire off faithfully when you're cold or scared, and they try to raise the fur that you don't have. So instead of a terrifying silhouette, you get goosebumps. The system works fine. There's just nothing to lift. But here's the part that gets me. Think about the last time a song gave you chills, a chorus that hit, a moment in a film. That right there is the same ancient cold and dangerous system, just hijacked by emotion. Your body reacts to a beautiful song using the same machinery your great-great-grandparent used to react to a predator behind them. Chills from your favorite track are basically an alarm system, left over from fur you no longer have. Now let's go to your ears. There are two stories here. First, the muscles. A dog or a cat has ears with a life of their own. They swivel towards sound like little radar dishes, each one on its own. There are muscles around the ear that do that. You've got them too. 3 of them around each ear. They've just been switched off for about 25 million years. And this is where it gets good. In 2025, a study came out. German researcher Andreas Schröer at Saarland University. They stuck electrodes around people's ears and made them strain to follow an audiobook through noise, coming from different directions. Turns out, the harder it got to hear, the more the muscle above the ear fired up. And when the sound came from behind, the muscle behind the ear kicked in, like it was trying to turn the ear backward. So right now, while you're straining to listen to me, your ears are probably making a tiny attempt to perk up, like a dog's. The movement is so small you can't feel it, and it accomplishes absolutely nothing. But the muscle is genuinely trying. Can you wiggle your ears, by the way? If you can, those muscles woke up a little more in you than in the average person. Congratulations, you're closer to a dog than everyone else in the room. Second story, out on the edge of your ear. Run a finger along the upper rim. Some people have a little thickening there, a small bump. Darwin himself noticed it and flat out said, that's a leftover from the pointed, folded ear our ancestors had. About 1 in 10 people have it. If you found one on yourself, you're carrying a tiny piece of monkey on your ear. Your ear, basically, is a museum of an ear that used to move and used to be pointed. Open your mouth. Well, in your head. Wisdom teeth. Our ancestors had a big, long jaw, built for tough, raw food you had to grind for hours. Then we learned to cook. Cooked food is soft. You can break it down with a knife and with fire instead of your teeth. And the jaw had no reason to stay big. So over thousands of years, it shrank. Nobody told the wisdom teeth. They still come in on the old spec, sized for a jaw that doesn't exist anymore. There's no room. So they push in sideways, jam into their neighbors, get stuck in the bone. That's the whole reason getting them yanked is basically a rite of passage. And here's the wildest part. More and more people today are born without wisdom teeth at all. They just don't grow the buds. That's an incredibly rare thing to catch, a vestigial part mid-deletion. Evolution is erasing a piece of us, and we're not watching it in million-year-old bones. We're watching it in living people, right now. Did you get yours pulled? Or did you just never have them? If you never did, congratulations. You're a slightly newer version of human than I am. Okay, this next one will get you a weird look if you bring it up at dinner. You had a tail, not as a figure of speech, an actual tail. When you were an embryo, around weeks 5 to 8, you had a tail with real vertebrae sticking out. For a little while, it was a genuine, visible part of you, and then your body ate it. Literally, the cells of the tail got the order to self-destruct, and it was absorbed back in. What was left fused into your coccyx, your tailbone, that little bone at the base of your spine that you slam so beautifully when you fall on ice. That's the stub of a tail, an anchor for some pelvic muscles, and nothing else. Sit with that for a second. You, personally, wore a tail for a few weeks, and then your own body decided it was surplus and removed it before you were even born. And every single person around you has the exact same story. Every so often, the process glitches, and a baby is born with a soft little tail that didn't get absorbed. And as for why we lost the tail in the first place, recent research suggests it came down to a single genetic change in our ape ancestors. But that's a very fresh story, so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on it. You can feel your coccyx right now, by the way. That's all that's left of your tail. Next, 2 programs still running in you from back when we were a lot furrier. First one. Stroke a newborn's palm and it'll clamp onto your finger so hard it can hang and hold nearly its whole body weight. Nobody teaches it that. It shows up at birth. It's left over from babies who clung to their mother's fur while she climbed or walked. Second program, and you can test this one on yourself if there's cold water nearby. Splash some on your face, or dunk your face in a sink of cold water for a couple seconds. Within a moment, your heart slows down on its own, and blood starts pulling away from your hands and feet toward the core of your body. That's the diving reflex, and every mammal has it. Seals, whales, you. In human babies, it's strongest of all. Infants under about 6 months will reflexively hold their breath underwater. So there's newborn software still running in you, written for ancestors who were furrier and closer to the water than you are sitting at your desk. And now we're at the one. Remember, at the start, I promised you a part no other animal has, and science can't explain. It's your chin. Sounds like nothing, right? A chin's a chin. Everybody's got one. Nope, chimps don't have one. Gorillas, our closest relatives, don't. Their jaw just slopes back. Neanderthals didn't have one. Denisovans didn't. There is not a single creature on this planet, except us, Homo sapiens, with this little jut of bone on the front of the lower jaw. It's so exclusively ours that anthropologists use it to ID one of us in a pile of old bones. Chin sticking out, modern human. So here's the million-dollar question. What's it for? You'd think, since only we have it and it sets us apart, it has to do something important. There were a ton of theories. Reinforces the jaw for chewing, helps with speech, protects the throat, sexual selection. People just liked a strong chin, and every one of them runs into the same wall. There's nothing to compare it to. No other animal has a chin, so there's no way to test any of it. The sample size for comparison is 1, us. And in 2026, a study came out with the most awkward answer of all. Researchers at the University at Buffalo took 532 skulls, humans and a bunch of apes, and measured everything. The conclusion? The chin probably isn't for anything. It didn't show up because something was selecting for it. It's a side effect of our face shrinking overall. There's even a word for that, a spandrel. It's an architecture term, a feature that just happened because something was being built next to it. So the most human thing on your face might just be an accident, no reason at all. And that is the best answer science has for you right now. Let's put it all together. A cord in your wrist from climbing trees, muscles that raise fur that isn't there, ears still trying to perk up at a sound, a tail your body grew and ate before you were born, a baby's grip for clinging to a mother, a reflex you share with a seal. You are not the final, polished, finished version of anything. You're a walking rough draft, an assembly of leftover parts from fish, from apes, from ancient humans, pieces evolution never cleaned out just because they weren't in the way. And honestly, I think that's way more beautiful than the crown of creation. None of this is a flaw or a mistake. It's your ancestors' signature, written right there on your body. Somewhere you can actually touch it. And the one part that's only yours, that belongs to no other animal alive, your chin, is still a mystery. Thanks for hanging out. Sources are in the description, as always. And remember to ingest as much education as you can in this lifetime. Bye.